The cancel mob is coming! The cancel mob is coming! Just like Paul Revere. And I ain't talking about the Beastie Boys either. I'm talking about, the British, the redcoats are coming, the redcoats are coming, except now this is what it is. The cancel mob is coming, the cancel mob is coming. Shit, it's sort of like Passover. You gotta smear some Trump blood on your door or whatever so they can leave you the fuck alone. But anyway, who are they coming for this time? This time, it's Mike Rowe. Yes, TV host Mike Rowe, TV personality Mike Rowe. You've seen him, with the trucker cap and all that stuff. There's a man. Anyway, Mike Rowe was asked an interesting question. He had an even more interesting answer in these days and times because, as you know, the term of the day is vaccine hesitancy, right? We've all heard it, vaccine hesitancy. How do we combat vaccine hesitancy? Well, we do it by offering them candy, we offer them money, and we take away all alternative news sites so they can't make an informed decision, and we lie to them, and then we sit back and act like we can't understand why there would be vaccine hesitancy. But anyway, I'm going to get into what Mike Rowe said, okay, guys? This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. So, Mike Rowe was asked online, I think it was like Facebook, he asked about his position on the vaccine, right? So let's get into this because I don't want to misquote or take this out of context. This is very important. Pay attention, guys. All right? Because they're going to be coming for him. This was on thedailycaller.com, and it says, Mike Rowe says he won't endorse the vaccine. Oh, what? Government needs to stop treating the unvaccinated like the enemy. Oh my God, okay. So he's the host of Dirty Jobs, and some guy named Steve was asking him, Mike, I've read several months ago that you got the vaccine. I'm glad, but I'm also curious. You have a lot of people on this page who respect your opinion, many of whom I'd wager are unvaccinated. How do you encourage them to follow your example? Why should he have to encourage them to follow his example? He made a personal choice. Good for him. Like, you see what I'm saying? This, guys, you've heard of sexism. You've heard of racism. This vaxism is getting out of control. You know what I mean? Because that, through vaxism and through all of these vaxes out here, they feel like they're actually justified in taking away people's freedom of choice. Well, your freedom of choice stops when you could be infecting grandma. You could be infecting grandma too. The vaccine doesn't stop you from spreading it, dumbass. Don't you understand that? It stops you, allegedly, from getting a severe case. It stops you from going to the hospital, possibly dying. But as far as who's endangering grandma, well, once you get me off the street and other people like me who have had it before, who maybe not vaccinated, they would not getting the jab, once we're out of the equation, who's going to be responsible for spreading it? I mean, use your brain here. It's common sense. All right, it says here, wait a minute. If not, what are you waiting for? Surely you know Delta is raging. The sooner we're all vaccinated, the sooner we can get back to normal. Yeah, like I said before, they keep on saying that. They've been saying that for almost damn near 2 years. Keep on doing this, you can get back. Listen, dog, you give anybody this amount of power, they're not fucking giving it back, okay? Act like you've learned something from history. No wonder they want to change all the history books. They want to make sure you fools don't understand how this thing works and how it goes down. And anyone who points it out gets canceled. All right, so anyway, Mike Rowe answers him. I'm not a doctor, Steve, and even though I occasionally play one on TV, I'm not inclined to dispense medical advice to the people on this page, he added, as he shared how he now regrets getting involved in perpetuating the particular falsehood that lockdowns would end the virus at the start of the pandemic. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, Rowe continued. Remember that one? He also said he regrets ever saying we were all in the same boat during a Zoom show at the start of the pandemic because that too turned out to be not true. Not then, not now. As he detailed how some prospered during the lockdowns. Okay, your big pharma executives, Anthony Fauci is now the highest paid federal employee in the country. You know what I mean? He's looking good throughout the first ball at the game and all that shit. And meanwhile, others floundered. Others lost everything. All right, they lost their livelihoods. All right, they lost their jobs. They lost their businesses. And people died alone in the hospital. Because of this, he's hesitant to say anything regarding the jab other than there is a risk in not getting the jab, there is a risk in getting the jab. The fact is, millions of reasonable Americans have every right to feel confused and skeptical, Mike shared. Those people you refer to, Steve, the ones now telling us that we can get back to normal just as soon as everyone is vaccinated, those are the same people who said 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Those are the same people who told us that masks were useless before they told us they were critical. Those are the same people who told us that a return to normalcy would occur just as soon as the most vulnerable among us were vaccinated. Then, just as soon as half the population was vaccinated, he added, then, just as soon as we achieved herd immunity. Those are the same people who told us they wouldn't trust any vaccine developed under the last administration. Now, those very same people are belittling the skeptics. Yes, and also their refusal to talk about natural immunity and how that also relates to all of this. They refuse to talk about how that contributes to herd immunity when the vast, vast majority of people who get this thing recover. You would think this would be an acceptable part of the conversation. A reasonable part of the conversation. But no, everyone is cool with that being swept under the rug, even though so many millions of people have recovered over it from this. So what does that mean to all of us? Well, we don't want to talk about that. Just get the jab. No matter what you tell them, it all comes back to get the jab. You know what I mean? I was raised on a different planet and I came to America. It doesn't matter. Get the jab. You know what I mean? It's like I came from the sea. We didn't have that down there. It doesn't matter. Get the jab. It doesn't matter. Those people you refer to, elected officials, journalists, and most disturbingly, more than a few medical experts, have moved the goalpost time and time again, Rowe continued, while ignoring the same rules and restrictions they demand we all live by. They are always certain, usually wrong, incapable of shame, and utterly void of humility. Is it any wonder millions find them unpersuasive? The host said, the only course of action for the government is to now start providing an honest daily breakdown of just how quickly the virus is spreading among the vaccinated or the unvaccinated versus the vaccinated. No more threats, no more judgments, no more politics, no more celebrity-driven PSAs. Damn! Mike Rowe, you turning me on, bro. I think it moved. This is what people need to hear. You want to combat vaccine hesitancy? You get more people like this who can actually talk to people, understand people, hear people, and not try to demonize them, and try to act like, oh, this is a disease of the unvaccinated. What the fuck do you look like saying that to people? You know what I'm saying? We're going to get your kids. Just give us time. Just ignore all these people who have died within days of taking it that no, the benefits outweigh the risk. They say, well, we don't know the risk because this hasn't been around long enough. No. I'm not saying anything that makes any sense, right? There's no reason for any type of hesitancy. I love the way this man is saying this, is breaking it down. He's going to have to be dealt with. He's going to have to be silenced. In other words, give us the facts, admit your mistakes, try a bit of humility, and stop treating the unvaccinated like the enemy. Oh my God, dude. Like, that is like that's like the word of God right there, guys. It really is. But of course, already the cancel mob are starting to circle the wagon. The cancel mob are picking up the pitchforks and torches. And we see on Twitter, let's see, this is from Bill Christo, okay, with a blue check mark. If Mike Rowe doesn't want to encourage people excuse me. If Mike Rowe doesn't want to encourage people to get vaccinated, that's his right. But to go out in public and misrepresent recent history in an attempt to discredit vaccines is reprehensible. Here's what some other people are saying. When Rowe, age 59, benefited from the mandated polio vaccine as a child, he should be ashamed to put today's children at risk. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone told me that a vaccine, in order for a vaccine to be a vaccine, it actually has to knock out the disease, to actually knock it out. And under that definition, this COVID vaccine is not even really a vaccine because it's not thoroughly and completely knocking it out. That's what I heard. I don't know, but gotta look that up. So the polio thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, first of all, it took a lot longer to establish that. And, second of all, I don't think it's that much of a threat anymore, whereas COVID will continue to be until we actually get a real vaccine or a medical treatment, to actually treat this instead of sending people home for 10 days and just saying good luck and then come back when you need to be on a ventilator when it's too late. And then people want to wonder, you got nurses who are, crying and stuff, the ones who ain't twerking and shit on TikTok. But this is what really leads to that, by the fact that, real medical treatment and advancements are not being honored here. You got doctors who are testifying to the Senate saying, please let us treat these people. They're not being allowed to. And it goes on. I have had enough of Mike Rowe's bullshit on Facebook a few months back. I used to admire his work, but it's been obvious for a while that he spends more time flirting with the right because he seems to think that's where his base is. In other words, Mike has sold out. Disappointing. Okay, Mike Rowe, a trained opera singer who resides in San Francisco and plays the role of the common working man on TV, is apparently a pernicious twat. Wow. Okay, so it just goes on. Okay, so they're dogging out Mike Rowe, all right, because he had the nerve to say we should stop trying to, demonize the unvaccinated, and we should start trying to understand each other, and the government can do a better job, a much better job of putting people's, discomforts at ease. But there it is, guys. So I just wanted you to see that, all right, because, these voices are few and far between, and I think that most people are relatively intelligent enough to take information and process it. We don't need it to be dictated to, by somebody else, and that's just my feeling on it, guys. But you can get in the comment section and let me know. This is a revolutionary thing to do, to actually get back to respecting one another, as much as possible anyway. But yeah, you can get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all of this. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Catch me on Twitter. If not, you can catch me on the next one. All right, guys, this is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.